I don't know if I could be happier with how this team's built and the culture that's been, brewing these last few years. And it's really, you see it through and through the whole roster now. And just a good mix of everything: toughness, skill, speed, goaltending. Like, it's all there.
Mm-hmm. Tough to beat. Yep.
I'd like this group of players to stay together for as long as possible before we judge them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know, Matt, I know you just said it, and I agree with you to a point. Like, a lot's riding on the season, but like, how much is riding on the season? Like, I'm just wondering, like, what do you think? If the Habs don't do well, say they don't make the playoffs, what do you think that means?
You know what I should have said was this: a lot is riding on this team.
I think there's a lot riding on the fact we have $700,000 in cap space.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it's true. Like, you can't really deny that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what other way is there to? It's not necessarily that black and white, but like, I think this is like, it's as close to all in as you could possibly get. No, am I wrong?
It is.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
it would be tough to keep this team together with the whole Seattle expansion coming in. And it's also contracts, like, are we going to be able to convince Phil Deneau that we have something good here? Are you willing to take something in terms of a dollar value in a term that would help out this team to keep everybody together? And that would be up to Marc Bergevin, and it will also be up to the team to perform well this season to show that we are indeed. Because a lot of people are talking about, what's his name, Pierre-Luc Dubois. I'm not convinced that he's better than Phil Deneau. Like, I don't know much about him, but I'm not convinced that, like, Phil Deneau, you can put him on anybody. You can put him on Matthews. You can put him on McDavid. You can put him on all these guys, and he's going to get the job done. Can you do that with Pierre-Luc Dubois?
It's two different players, though. I mean, one's 60, 70 points. The other guy's more of a defensive-minded kind of guy, right? Who wins a lot of face-offs.
And the point that I'm trying to make, though, is that if you bring in a Pierre-Luc Dubois, chances are you're not going to sign a Phil Deneau. And Phil Deneau's a free agent. And it scares me to think that Phil Deneau is going to go because he's almost there. He's almost there for that, Selke, top-notch guy. And, he's outstanding as it is. And we need a player like that. He's everything that Guy Carbonneau was. We used to put Guy Carbonneau on Wayne Gretzky for the final in 1993. And as soon as he was on Gretzky, boom, we started winning games. And I think Phil Deneau is that guy for us. And if we can convince him that, we have star players that are taking $5.5 million and, wanting to stay here, a little bit of a discount, are you willing to take that? Then hopefully we can keep the team together, but we're still going to lose somebody to that expansion draft.
That's one of the main reasons why, like, obviously the all-in aspect of it, but the $700,000 in cap space that we have right now, that's one of the main reasons why I mentioned it. It's going to be tough to kind of keep that balance, right? I agree with you, Mo, 100%.
Yeah, team's definitely going to look different next year between that expansion draft and whether or not we keep a certain set of players.
What a load of shit that expansion draft is, eh?
No, fuck.
Just
we managed to skirt through the first one. Just lost Emelin.
Lord.
At the end of his prime, when he was out of his prime. But hopefully the same thing happens. But I think part of Bergevin's moves here over the offseason, he's between Allen and Edmondson and Sherratt. One of those guys is going to be protected, probably not Allen, obviously, and the others aren't. We're going to lose a good player for sure. We're going to lose a contract, which might open us up for keeping someone else too. So I don't know. It's tough.
He also has a lot of picks to deal with, so he could always send over picks and tell them, hey, pick this guy or stay away from this guy as well. So that is said to be one of the things that these expansion teams do. But I don't even know who the GM is over there. Who is it?
Ron Francis.
Is it Ron Francis?
Seattle, yeah.
Yeah. It should be interesting, though, but I hate expansion drafts, just like John said. I can't stand them.
Yeah, the owners love it though. I mean, gone are the days when you have like the San Jose Sharks and Ottawa Senators spending, a decade in the basement. Those days are gone. And I mean, I guess if you're going to spend $1.5 billion or whatever, bringing in an NHL franchise, I don't know how much it is, but like you probably want to make a return on your investment at some point. So they figured out a way, but it sucks for the rest of us. I agree.
Here's a fun fact. When we started expansion, before expansion, Patrick Waugh and Brian Hayward were winning the Williams Jennings for goaltending duo with the lowest goals against year after year or whatever. And Brian Hayward was taken in the expansion draft to San Jose. And so we had to go get guys like Red Light Rasico and JC Bergeron and all these guys. So Brian Hayward was one of the first guys we lost in this modern expansion era, if you want to call it that. So
that's true. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm really interested to see on, I'm not, I was about to say I was excited, but I'm going to be relieved when all this is over, because I think we're going to have a clearer picture of what our team, I don't give a shit what Seattle looks like, but what our team's going to look like afterwards, right? Because Matt, I think you nailed it, man. I think we're going to lose a good player.
Yeah.
Maybe 2. Who knows? There's 32 other teams, 31, 32. How many are there now besides Seattle?
Yeah, there will be 32 total.
There will be 32. So there's 31 other teams kind of sweating the way we are as well. So, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully we can just go under the radar maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. Mo brings up the picks thing, and that could work, especially with Bergevin's slickness. However, I'm almost willing just to roll the dice and say, pick whoever you want, and we'll just live with it. Mainly because of seeing what Florida did there with Marchessault and Riley Smith, and it's like, I don't want to be that team coming out of the expansion draft that gave up, multiple assets instead of just being like, you know what, take your pick and then leave us the fuck alone. We'll beat you on the ice. That clip was from my sit down with the boys from the From Failing Hands podcast. A link to their podcast is down in the description, and if you want to watch my full sit down with them, that link is down there as well.